everyone. This is a special interview of Bits and Bips. I'm talking with Steve Ehrlich, our executive editor, about a story he wrote on some upcoming events with the Ethereum staking queue. So, Steve, what did you find out yesterday from Kiln?
Yeah. Hi, Laura. Thanks for having me. So, ever since Kiln, which is one of the largest staking providers in the world, announced that they were going to preemptively pull all of their ETH that was staked, about 1.6 billion, 1.6 million units of ETH, worth almost $7 billion at today's prices, from the network, in response to a security vulnerability that impacted their staked Solana, and due to fears that something similar could impact their Ethereum, the Ethereum that they staked. A big question was, when are they going to try to put that money back to work? When are they going to try to put those assets back into the network? Obviously, as a staking provider, it's important for your business to be running it, one of your most important business lines, and for their clients, every day that their assets are not being staked means that they're missing out on passive income that comes from staking, which is about 3%, give or take, depending on the day. This was even more, and the company itself, Kiln, they had actually gone pretty silent since this announcement. So, as part of reporting that we did for a terrific story that one of our contributing writers, Lior Shimron, wrote last week, talking about a few different flows that are going to merge to create a huge bottleneck in the ETH staking queue, we reached out to the Kiln team to ask for any sort of update. And after that article was published, we actually got a response from the COO, who basically said that they're going to try to start spinning up new validators next week. That's obviously newsworthy, given how much how the Kiln unstaking movement just led to a massive surge in the unstaking queue, and then it leads to a lot of other questions that we tried to answer with that story.
Yeah, and it's also newsworthy because the staking queue itself also had a spike recently, and it's since gone down, but now obviously it's going to be going back up. So when will this ETH actually get restaked?
So there's a few components to that. For one, all the ETH that was moved into the unstaking queue has to actually work its way through it. And based on sort of today's waiting time, for lack of a better term, it's about 40 days. So they started to unstake that ETH on September 9th, which basically means that we're going to be looking until the middle of October before any of that would then be available to be restaked. Then they're going to have to go through the staking queue, which right now is just a couple of days. It had spiked much higher previously. It's starting to work its way down. But that's the timeline, regardless of anything else, that any ETH is going to have to go through. But then there's other considerations as well. For instance, the company is spinning up these validators. I'm sure that they're going to have to go through security audits and all sorts of vigorous testing to make sure that those validators and the wallets that service them are safe for customers to use. It's not irresponsible for somebody who is currently a Kiln client to wonder if it's safe to put that money back there again. And that's going to be incumbent upon the Kiln team to sort of assuage all of those concerns. All of the ETH that is being unstaked, I would imagine, is going to be restaked back into the network in one way or another. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to be put back into Kiln.
Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. Meaning like some stakers might have left Kiln, or?
Right. I mean, there's lots of other options. So somebody who uses Kiln to stake their ETH, I mean, they could do it through various exchanges. They could also go to some of the liquid staking protocols like Lido or Rocket Pool. So if I would imagine that Kiln right now is working hard to, I guess, regain or just continue to maintain customer trust.
Okay. And is this something that Kiln clients should be concerned about, what happened with Sol and that kicked off, of course, this precautionary measure with their ETH?
I think so. I mean, and that's not just necessarily my opinion. I mean, anytime a company preemptively pulls a huge amount of money out of the network, especially when it's your core business, that certainly is a cause for concern. I mean, certainly, I appreciate, and I imagine the clients appreciate them being cautious and and taking that step as opposed to quote unquote letting it ride and seeing what happens. But I mean, just imagine if someone buying a car and realizing there's some sort of big safety recall. Are you excited to go and buy that brand of a car again without knowing exactly what happened and without sort of some sort of explanation so that you know it's not going to happen again? It's not a perfect apples to apples comparison, but that's what I think a lot of people will be considering. So again, this is, I guess, a good example of a security incident because at least from the Ether side, it doesn't look like anybody was hurt. But but again, every single one of Kiln's client or competitors, I would imagine, is trying to talk to some of the same stakers and saying, look, we didn't have these issues before. And it's hard for me to prognosticate what's going to happen because it hasn't really been disclosed the nature of the incident and all that. But that is something that I think Kiln, I'm sure, is very aware of, and the clients are as well. And I should note that when I heard back from the Kiln team, I wrote to ask for an interview and to be able to ask more questions like these, and I did not get a response.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, that's telling. So, as I like briefly alluded to earlier, there's a larger picture of what's happening with the ETH staking queue, and that references Lior's piece from last week. So, explain this bigger picture.
Right. So the staking and unstaking queues in Ethereum, they're done deliberately to ensure stability of the network. For instance, if there's a potential security issue or something, you don't want all of the billions of dollars worth of ETH, and I think it's around somewhere 30% of the entire market cap. You don't want it all to just exit immediately because the network would go down. And same thing with going in. You want to make sure that the network doesn't get, for instance, like DDoS by getting overwhelmed with too much ETH going in. So there are these queues, and the way it's set up, they all there's only one queue. Everybody trying to go in. It's almost like going to Disney World. Like everyone trying to go in, they all run into the same line. There's no way to jump the line, so it's just first come first serve. And as Lior pointed out in his story, there's a few big sources of staking demand that could get unlocked in the next couple of weeks or months. One are the DATs, the digital asset treasury companies that already own billions of ETH and are looking to raise more. The next thing they're going to do is put it to work securing the network to earn that passive yield. All of the ETH spot ETFs, people I've spoken to, like James Seifert from Bloomberg, they're saying that probably by mid to late October, they're going to get the all clear from the SEC and, more importantly, the IRS to be able to stake that ETH. So they're going to start putting it to work. Seasonally, ETH tends to do very well in Q4s. That actually goes for much of crypto, but ETH as well. And that plus now this Kiln restaking demand is all going to merge around the same time. And if the dates line up exactly the right way, we could see a very big wait to start staking again. I would not be surprised if in like a month from now, the staking and unstaking queues are inverted, where perhaps the unstaking queue is just a couple of days and the staking queue could be 40 days.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, for those of you who are interested in staking, this is a tip of what's to come. All right. Well, thanks so much, Steve, for sharing what you discovered.
Great. Thanks, Laura.